This is it, guys. This is your fourth stimulus check update, daily news update, and stimulus package update. President Biden and other Democratic leaders to get a vote done on what all of the key players are saying. And lastly, a surprise suggestion that's definitely a big hint toward a fourth stimulus check. Let's go and jump in. President Biden and all the Democratic leaders are pulling out all the stops here. In President Biden's words,
instead of continuing to fight the wars of the past, we are fixing our eye on devoting our resources to the challenges that hold the keys to our collective future, addressing the climate crisis, managing the shifts in global power dynamics, shaping the rules of the world on vital issues like trade, cyber, and emerging technologies, and facing the threat as it stands today. We've ended 20 years of conflict in Afghanistan, and as we close this period of relentless war, we're opening a new era of relentless diplomacy, of using the power of our development aid to invest in new ways of lifting people up around the world, of renewing and defending democracy, of proving that no matter how challenging or how complex the problems we're going to face, government by and for the people is still the best way to deliver for all of our people.
what do you guys think? Is President Biden making some sense here? Drop a quick comment down below. A government by and for the people is exactly what we're starting to see here with the Democratic lawmakers. They're toward a Monday vote on this $1.2 trillion infrastructure package. Now, that's what House Speaker Nancy Pelosi promised House moderates last month so that they would agree to move on the bigger $3.5 trillion stimulus package. When asked about it, Pelosi said, "We're on schedule." House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer is also on board, saying Democratic leaders have an obligation to bring the vote on Monday. But here's the catch. One of the top House Democrats is saying that we have virtually no chance the $3.5 trillion bill will be finished in October. Now, that's Chairman of the House Budget Committee, Representative John Yarmuth.
I really don't. I actually think that in my conversations with both progressives, and I am a progressive, and the moderates, that everybody shares the goals of getting both of these packages done. The moderates definitely want access to child care and pre-K education and paid family and medical leave and community college. The moderates want that as well. So I think ultimately, as I've been telling them for 4 months, and my job has been herding Democratic cats, I said, you can posture all you want, and you should, because you should stand up for your principles and your priorities, but ultimately you're all going to vote for this. And by the way, have you met Nancy Pelosi? And that's where I think we'll end up being now. Are we going to get it done next week? No, there's virtually no chance of getting it done next week. But we don't have a deadline on this. Somehow the issues are getting conflated a little bit in terms of the pressure. But you know, the 27th date was an agreement that was made with the moderates to get them to vote for the resolution. I really don't know where their leverage is right now, because again, if they vote, if they say, well, we're not going to vote for the big package if we don't get our vote on the 27th, they're going to have a long time to stew on that. And I think one of the other things is all of the things that are in the bigger package, the Build Back Better Act, are extremely popular with the public. And ultimately, I think that's why we'll get these done.
And if you've been watching the show, you would definitely know that this is a major no-no for the almost 100 members of the Progressive Caucus. Progressives say that more than half of the 96-member Congressional Progressive Caucus will vote against the next bill next week if their demands are not met. Now, as Progressive Caucus Chair Representative Pramila Jayapal said, they can take that bet if they want. We would still have enough votes to defeat it. And since Republicans are not touching this bill and Democrats only have a 3-vote margin in the House, it looks like they may actually get their way. And honestly, guys, I think Jayapal is making a lot of sense here. Here she is talking more about it.
Today, is there anything that President Biden could say to you today to get you to first vote yes on that $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill?
Well, Allison, it's always great to see you, and I'm really looking forward to meeting with the president. He left me a lovely message last night. And I think that the issue here is that we are ready to vote for the entirety of the president's agenda. We are ready to support and deliver to his desk the entirety of the agenda that he laid out to Congress in the Build Back Better speech that he gave to us. And so we want to do that. But the deal has always been and was, and you just saw perhaps that 11 senators just released a letter clarifying this again for people. The deal was that those senators voted for the infrastructure bill under the commitment that the two bills would move together in the House, that we would pass reconciliation and then we would vote for the infrastructure bill. That has been our position for 3 months, but every month we check with our members and every month they say yes. pass. This is too important to leave behind. Childcare, paid leave, taking on climate change, housing, infrastructure, healthcare, all of these things will get left behind if we don't pass the two together.
Just today, the U.S. Chamber of Congress has come out with a statement saying that they don't like the $3.5 trillion deal. They say now the Biden administration wants to hit them again with massive tax increases. Oh, actually, I think that I have that sound. Let me play this for you.
Now, the Biden administration wants to hit them again with massive tax increases. These tax hikes would be a body blow to our economy, endangering our recovery and taking more hard-earned money from small businesses and working families.
They think that tax increases will hurt small businesses. What do you say to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce?
What a shocker. The Chamber of Commerce that represents the largest corporations in the country, some in the world, who have made the most money, created enormous numbers of billionaires while leaving everybody else out, doesn't want to increase taxes on the largest corporations so that they pay their fair share. I'm not surprised. Are you?
And if you're interested to know where the numbers are at, here's our tally of Democrats who said their piece about the vote. We have 9 House Democrats who put their foot down on the topic. Cory Bush, Mark Desaulnier, Jared Hoffman, Pramila Jayapal, Mondaire Jones, Ilhan Omar, AOC, Mark Pocain, and Rashida Tlaib. Then we've got 19 who are willing to vote on the $1.2 trillion bill ahead of the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. Get your pen and paper ready, guys, just in case you want to take some notes of your Congress representative here. Jake Auchincloss, Carol Bodeau, G.K. Butterfield, Ed Case, Jim Costa, Henry Queller, John Garamendi, and the list is actually quite long, so I'm going to leave the list down in the comments down below. Now, if you could take note of your congressmen or women here, you can give them a call. Most, if not all of our lawmakers have hotlines that you can just look up through Google. Now, if you don't know how, just ask a friend or a loved one to help you out. Let them know that you want to reach your lawmakers and give them a piece of your mind. In a simple way, of course. Oh, and don't forget about their social media. Send them a tweet, a Facebook post, an Instagram message, heck, maybe even a TikTok video if you want to. Let them know you want this, guys. And just to reiterate what's on the line here, we're talking about paid family leave, medical leave, expanded Medicare to include eye care, dental, and hearing, lower drug prices, vehicle stimulus, child tax credits, earned income tax credits, and if they eventually pass it, a 4th stimulus check for Social Security recipients. As in the whole Social Security alphabet here, SSI, SSDI, railroad benefits, survivor benefits, veterans benefits. They're even hoping to add unemployment. Definitely a lot of stimulus to look forward to. That's if we can get the $3.5 trillion stimulus package back on track. So call up your local lawmakers today and let your voice be heard. And definitely share this video with your friends and your loved ones so more people can know about it. Let's use our network effect for good, guys. It would definitely be amazing if our community started a web of influence with this, right, guys? Just click that share button to get started. President Biden's getting up close and personal to the whole thing, launched a full court press, hosting a series of White House meetings with lawmakers from both sides. Now, as he said on his Twitter account, today I had 3 productive meetings with congressional Democrats to hear their perspectives and make progress in passing the Build Back Better Act and the bipartisan infrastructure deal. There's more work to be done, but I'm committed to delivering for the middle class. And if you're wondering what Biden said about the whole issue, it's on Twitter. According to Biden, he says, "I'm sick and tired of the super wealthy and giant corporations not paying their fair share of taxes. It's time for it to change." Now, we've also got the inside scoop on all these meetings straight from the source. Representative Pramila Jayapal quickly reiterated her caucus's position right after the meeting. On her Twitter, she said paid leave, childcare, healthcare, climate action, affordable housing, all paid for by raising taxes only on the richest of the rich. That was the deal, and it's time to deliver. Now, on the other side, moderate Senator Manchin said Biden told them to come up with a top-line number that they could actually support for the Democrats' sweeping reconciliation bill. His exact words were, he just basically said, find a number that you're comfortable with. He also added that Biden's message was to please just work on it. Give me a number. Senator Jon Tester ventured to say a date on the topic. I think it would be great to have a framework on Monday, and I think the president would agree to that. And if you're wondering where they're coming from, it's probably from all these business groups and big pharma pushing against all these big tax hikes for them. Like Jayapal said, what a surprise, right? The nation's biggest corporate lobbying group, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, launched a 6-figure ad campaign targeting 5 centrists and warned they could pull endorsements for the lawmakers in tough re-election races next year if they vote for the bill. The chamber's new ad campaign targets Representatives Cindy Axne, Angie Craig, Antonio Delgado, Josh Harder, and Elaine Luria. Now remember those names, guys, but we're not down and out yet. Now, if you're a part of these states, call up your local lawmakers and tell them your thoughts. One liberal group, Tax March, launched their own $1 million ad, and it was focused on Senator Ron Johnson so that he would support the bill. They also launched ads focusing on several GOP House members, including Representatives Marionette Miller Meeks, Steve Chabot, and Brian Fitzpatrick. Tax March Executive Director Maura Quint said in a news release, while Democrats are working to rebalance the economy for all Americans, Republicans are fighting for their billionaire donors again. As voters, we are mobilizing to tell Congress they must choose the side of working families, not big corporations and the rich. I don't know, that one gave me the chills, guys. This is definitely getting real. Now, as Senator Bernie Sanders points out, they're on the verge of handing Big Pharma their first major loss.
In America,
I mean, just take a look. Billionaires could pay for more than half of the $3.5 trillion stimulus package just by giving up their wealth gains. To be clear, we're comparing 17 months, just a little over a year really, of these 708 people's wealth gains, not touching their money, just the gains alone, to years and years of American people's sick and medical leave, tax credits, and expanded Medicare. I think the choice is pretty clear here, guys. Sanders is part of the group of 11 senators urging the House to pass the $3.5 trillion package before the infrastructure bill, meaning they want to stick to the original plan and get both stimulus bills done together. Otherwise, the bigger stimulus package may fail on its own. The senator said that they voted to pass a nearly $1 trillion infrastructure bill in August with a clear commitment that the deal would move alongside the Democrats' larger spending plan. They also said Congress must not undercut the president's proposals that will create new opportunities for America's families and workers. The House of Representatives should wait to pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill until the budget reconciliation bill, which enacts the rest of the president's Build Back Better agenda, is sent to the president's desk. That is what we agreed to. It's what the American people want, and it's the only path forward for this Congress. And guys, just look at the numbers here. An overwhelming majority of Americans support the Build Back Better Act. New polling from Navigator Research shows high support from the Build Back Better Act, with support from 66% of Americans, 61% of independents, and 39% of Republicans. 17 Nobel Prize winning economists are also on our side. The open letter said, while we all have different views on the particulars of various economic policies, we believe that key components of this broader agenda are critical during tax reforms that make our tax system more equitable and that enable our system to raise additional funds required to facilitate necessary public investments and achieve our collective goals. Because this agenda invests in long-term economic capacity and will enhance the ability of more Americans to participate productively in the economy, it will ease longer-term inflationary pressures. Their letter also pointed out reversing years of disinvestment in public goods and addressing the country's long-term needs, including building towards sustainable and inclusive growth and facilitating our clean energy transition, will require more. But what do we always say, guys? Poverty is a policy choice, and so is stimulus. So I'm really crossing my fingers here. Now, one thing's for sure though, we've always got your back right here in the stimulus game that they're playing on us. And this is why we came up with our own channel exclusive newsletter for the top 20 proof ways to earn money from home right now. We don't want anyone getting left behind, so this is your must-have guide on the new normal, and most importantly, how you can reinvent yourselves financially in this stage of the game. This is exactly what you're going to need in this crazy world of ours. So let's not forget, millions of people have been laid off, entire households collapsed, and let's not forget about the kids. So we've got your back, guys. Get your free copy today, right down in the pinned comment down below or in the description. All right, so I kept you guys waiting long enough. The fourth stimulus check. What's the deal, right? Well, this news piece from Insider is saying that there could theoretically sidestep Mitch McConnell's refusal to pay America's bills by minting a $1 trillion platinum coin. But here's the thing. In the Obama era, economists and commenters mentioned a potential workaround to the debt limit. The law says the Treasury Department is legally allowed to mint, includes description of typical coins such as dimes, nickels, and quarters, as well as special commemorative and collector's coins, such as a palladium $25 coin. Specifically, the clause says the secretary may mint and issue platinum bullion coins and proof platinum coins in accordance with such specifications, designs, varieties, quantities, denominations, and inscriptions as the secretary, in the secretary's discretion, may prescribe from time to time. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? That's right. That clause leaves it up to the Treasury Secretary to decide on the denomination of a platinum coin, meaning that, in theory, Janet Yellen could carve out the amount required, and Congress could get on with more pressing business. Now, we have heard this idea before, guys. To be specific, we talked about it as a way to fund a fourth stimulus check plus recurring stimulus checks. It's all in the Automatic Boost to Communities Act from Representative Rashida Tlaib. The ABC Act would authorize the Treasury to mint two $1 trillion platinum coins to fund a fourth stimulus check, fund a